The SmackDown arena pulsed with energy as Roman Reigns made his entrance, the WWE Universe erupting in a deafening chant of OTC. His return at SummerSlam 2025 had already set the wrestling world ablaze, but this night on SmackDown felt different, heavier. The tribal chief stood in the ring, his gaze piercing through the crowd, a mix of pride and pain etched into his features. After months away, his presence was a reminder of the bloodline's storied dominance, but also of the fractures that threatened to tear it apart. The fans sensed something big was coming, their anticipation laced with unease. The Bloodline saga is the heartbeat of modern WWE, a tale of family, power, and unspoken tensions. Roman Reigns, alongside the Usos and Solo Sikoa, with Paul Heyman as their cunning wise man, built an empire that redefined the industry. From 2020, when Reigns embraced his tribal chief persona, the Bloodline became untouchable, ruling SmackDown with a blend of charisma, brutality, and strategy. Heyman's promos painted Roman as the head of the table, a champion whose universal title reign stretched over 1,300 days, a record forged in sacrifice and supremacy. Yet, beneath the glory, the Bloodline was a pressure cooker. Roman carried the weight of the Anoa'i legacy, a burden that demanded perfection. Jey Uso, once a loyal follower, began to chafe under Roman's iron rule, his loyalty tested by the tribal chief's relentless expectations. Jimmy Uso, the heart of the group, hid his doubts behind a smile, while Solo Sikoa's silent intensity hinted at a rebellion waiting to erupt. The family's unity was their strength, but it was also their Achilles heel, each member wrestling with their place at the table. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Paul Heyman was the architect, his silver tongue weaving narratives that kept the Bloodline invincible. His alliance with Roman was a masterstroke, turning a divisive babyface into a heel legend. But Heyman's loyalty was never absolute. His past with Brock Lesnar and CM Punk proved he thrived on power shifts. At WrestleMania 41, that truth exploded. Heyman betrayed Roman, aligning with Seth Rollins in a triple threat match that cost Reigns the title. The image of Roman, bloodied and abandoned, walking out of Las Vegas was a wound the WWE Universe couldn't forget. Roman's absence after WrestleMania left a void. Fans speculated wildly, with posts on X suggesting he might never return. His cryptic 2024 comment, "The moment I'm not with the wise men, you won't see the tribal chief," fueling retirement rumors. Backstage, Wrestling Observer reported WWE was giving Roman space to let new storylines breathe, but his return was always in the cards. SummerSlam 2025 saw him re-emerge, aligning with a new Wiseman, a mysterious figure whose presence shocked Paul Heyman and signaled a new era for the Bloodline. On SmackDown, the stage was set for revenge. Roman, now partnered with Jey Uso and his new Wiseman, faced a new challenge. Bronson Reed, the powerhouse who'd aligned with Heyman's faction alongside Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Reed, a 330-pound wrecking ball, had been a thorn in Roman's side, his brutal attacks a message from Heyman's camp. The WWE Universe buzzed with anticipation, sensing Roman's return wasn't just about redemption, it was about reclaiming his legacy from those who'd tried to bury it. The SmackDown main event was billed as a six-man tag. Roman, Jey, and a debuting Tonga Loa vs. Reed, Breaker, and Rollins, with Heyman in their corner. The match was a war, each strike a release of pent-up rage. Roman's spear to Breaker sent the crowd into a frenzy, while Jey's superkick to Reed echoed their unbreakable bond. Tonga Loa, the newest Bloodline member, brought a raw intensity, his loyalty to Roman unquestioned. The new Wiseman's strategic whispers guided their every move, a stark contrast to Heyman's theatrical chaos. The match's intensity masked a deeper story. Roman's eyes burned with purpose, each move a rebuke to Heyman's betrayal. Jey, now an equal rather than a soldier, fought with a fire that spoke of his own journey, breaking free from Roman's shadow only to return for family. Tonga Loa's presence was a nod to the Bloodline's expanding ranks, a sign that Roman was rebuilding, not retreating. The crowd fed off their synergy, chanting, "Yeet," as Jey and Roman stood tall, but the air held a tension that something bigger was brewing. Halfway through the match, the atmosphere shifted. As Roman tagged out, Reed blindsided him with a cheap shot, sending him crashing to the floor. The crowd booed, but Roman's smirk hinted at a plan. The new Wiseman signaled to the ramp, and the arena darkened. A low rumble filled the air, and the WWE Universe held its breath. When the lights returned, Roman was back in the ring, but something was off. Reed's prized custom sneakers, a symbol of his swagger, were gone, replaced by a mocking pair of worn boots. The reveal was electric. Roman held Reed's sneakers aloft, a trophy of revenge. The crowd erupted as he tossed them into the stands, a humiliating blow to the powerhouse. Backstage footage later showed Roman orchestrating the theft during the chaos, a calculated move planned with his new Wiseman. The attack wasn't just physical, it was psychological, stripping Reed of his bravado in front of millions. Heyman, ringside, was visibly shaken, his faction's momentum crumbling under Roman's cunning. The WWE Universe lost it, chanting, OTC, as Roman stood over Reed, his message clear: no one disrespects the bloodline and walks away unscathed. Jay's grin and Tonga Loa's nod sealed the moment, a united front against their enemies. The new Wiseman's stoic presence added weight, his role as Roman's strategist evident in the precision of the plan. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement that the bloodline was evolving, no longer reliant on Heyman's schemes. The emotional aftermath was palpable. Roman's post-match promo was raw, his voice cracking as he spoke of family and betrayal. He didn't name Heyman, but the subtext was clear: the man who'd built him up had torn him down. Stealing Reed's sneakers wasn't just petty, it was symbolic, a way to reclaim power from Heyman's faction. Jay's presence beside him, silent but resolute, spoke of a bond forged in shared pain, while Tonga Loa's loyalty hinted at a new chapter. Backstage whispers, as reported by Fightful, painted a chaotic picture. Talent buzzed about Roman's bold move, some calling it a genius nod to wrestling's psychological roots, others worried it escalated tensions with Heyman's camp. The sneakers, custom designed for Reed, were reportedly a sore point, with Reed furious and vowing retribution. Triple H's creative team was praised for the slow-burn storytelling, using a simple act to deepen the Bloodline saga. The fans on X were ablaze, with #BloodlineRevenge trending worldwide. Some celebrated Roman's audacity, calling it a return to his heel roots, others saw it as a desperate act from a man haunted by betrayal. The new Wiseman's role sparked debate: was he a true ally or a potential threat? His mysterious aura, contrasting Heyman's bombast, kept fans guessing, a testament to WWE's knack for layered storytelling. The Bloodline's legacy was at a crossroads. Roman's reign had elevated the Anoa'i family, but it also exposed their fractures. Jay's evolution, Solo's rebellion, and Jimmy's absence were constant reminders of the cost of power. Stealing Reed's sneakers was a small victory, but it spoke to Roman's need to assert control, to prove he didn't need Heyman to dominate. Tonga Loa's addition signaled expansion, but also a shift: family was no longer just blood, but chosen loyalty. Heyman's reaction was telling. Known for his verbal venom, his silence post-match spoke of a man outplayed. Sportskeeda reported he was regrouping with Rollins, possibly planning a counterstrike. The image of him watching Roman parade Reed's sneakers was a rare glimpse of vulnerability, a sign that even the master manipulator was rattled. His faction, once a threat, now seemed fractured, their unity no match for the Bloodline's resolve. The real-world context added depth. Roman, at 40, was balancing WWE with a Hollywood career, his Street Fighter role in Sixth Child a testament to his personal growth. His ESPN comments about new management hinted at his embrace of change, yet his loyalty to the Bloodline's roots remained. The sneaker theft, while playful, was a nod to his heel persona, a reminder that the tribal chief could still outsmart his foes. Backstage, the mood was electric. WrestleVote's noted talent saw this as a pivot, with Roman's feud with Heyman's faction potentially leading to a Bloodline civil war. Solo Sikoa's absence loomed large, his own faction a growing threat. The new Wiseman's identity, still shrouded in mystery, fueled speculation about ties to wrestling's past or even AEW crossovers, though nothing was confirmed. The emotional weight of the night lingered. Roman's victory was triumphant, but it was laced with pain. The Bloodline saga, built on family, was now defined by its fractures. Stealing Reed's sneakers was a moment of catharsis, but it couldn't erase Heyman's betrayal or the family's internal strife. Jay's loyalty and Tonga Loa's presence were glimmers of hope, but the wounds of WrestleMania 41 still bled. Fans felt the complexity. Some saw Roman as a hero reclaiming his throne, others saw a man consumed by vengeance, his actions driven by pride. The new Wiseman's guidance suggested a strategic future, but his motives remained unclear. Was he a true partner, or another betrayal waiting to unfold? The uncertainty kept the WWE Universe hooked, eager for the next twist. The SmackDown moment was a microcosm of the Bloodline's journey, power, betrayal, and resilience. Roman's act of stealing Reed's sneakers was petty yet profound, a way to humiliate his enemies while asserting his dominance. But it also highlighted the cost of his war with Heyman, a reminder that every victory came with a price. The crowd's chants of OTC were a celebration, but also a plea for the family to heal. As the show ended, Roman stood tall, Reed's sneakers long gone, his new Wiseman by his side. The image was powerful, a king reclaiming his crown, but it was bittersweet. The Bloodline's legacy was no longer just about titles or dominance, it was about surviving betrayal. Jay's nod and Tonga Loa's stoic presence were signs of strength, but Solo's absence and Heyman's schemes cast a long shadow. The WWE Universe left SmackDown buzzing, knowing the story was far from over. Roman's revenge was sweet, but it was a single battle in a larger war. The new Wiseman's role, the family's fractures, and Heyman's next move hung in the air, unanswered questions that promised more drama. In the end, the Bloodline saga was about blood, not just the ties that bind, but the wounds that linger, the trust broken, and the fight to rise again.